Hello everyone, my name is FloppyDoppyLols and welcome back to World of Tanks. Well, because I'm not going to upload anything else but World of Tanks, maybe not even World of Warships, maybe Armored Warfare once I get used to it, but I think I'm going to stick to World of Tanks for quite a while. Today I am driving the Tier 9 Russian medium tank, the T-54. A totally balanced tank that isn't overpowered at all, trust me on this. And actually it is kind of balanced, with only 201mm of AP penetration. You cannot even pen the front of an M103 reliably. You cannot pen the front of the turret, the cupola is a small target. And the lower plate is still kind of troll with 201mm of penetration. But for some reason Wargaming did decide to give this tank 330mm of heat penetration. And people spam it. People spam heat in the T-54. And it works for them because they get good games. But it doesn't work against spaced armor. And I've seen a lot of T-54s spam heat into spaced armor and not do any damage. So watch out for that. You know, if you do decide to spam heat. If you decide to spam heat, just look at what tank you're shooting at. It's very easy to figure out if you can pen the side with heat or AP. If it's an IS-7, you can pen it with AP below the spaced armor. Heat will only get eaten by the tracks in the spaced armor, and it won't do you any good. But if we ignore the penetration, the tank is very reliable. It can bounce shells off its turret, but it doesn't always work. It can get penned right in the front, even if you're hull down, so you have to keep wiggling it. The rate of fire is excellent. I can keep both of these tanks constantly tracked for my enemies to rip them apart. 5 degrees of gun depression is adequate. It is a very, very strong tank. To be honest, I am totally not surprised. It is very difficult to get the Ace Mastery badge on this tank. It is played so well by people. It is so maneuverable. It is the tank has a high skill cap. You have to know how to play it. But if you do know how to play it, it can carry all of the games. If you are on your way towards the T-54 at the moment, and you're struggling with the T-43 or the T-44, just keep playing them. This tank is certainly worth the grind towards it. And it gets better when you get to Tier 10. Both the 262A and the Object 140 are amazing tanks. I recently picked up the Object 140, and I regret not grinding towards this tank earlier. It is so much fun to play, and it's a great platoon tank as well. It's very maneuverable, the rate of fire is amazing. Just go play your Russian mediums. It doesn't matter if you go through the T-44 or the Object 416. Just go play the Russian mediums. The line is absolutely fantastic to play. But enough gushing about how absolutely fantastic these totally balanced tanks are. Back to the game. We're on Sacred Valley, we just conquered the hill. And now I'm wanting to help my heavy tanks on the heavy tank corner by getting some flanking shots in. And that is something I can easily do with the speed and maneuverability of this medium tank. No, I've talked enough about how good the tanks are. So after the VK4502B burned to death, I move up a bit more and I see that the KV-4 and T-34 down there are very much in the open for me and for our artillery. So I move up a bit and I can get some delicious side shots in the KV-4. 201mm of penetration is more than enough. And I finish off the T-34. You have to get as many guns out of the game to make carrying so much more easier for yourself. And then I do what every medium tank should do. Flank around. I see that they're busy with the heavy tanks on the downslope of the hill. And I know exactly how to get up the hill. So I move up. And then I don't expect to meet any tanks here, but I see the T-69 moving back. I think he spotted me going here. And there's a T-54 waiting for me. Don't show your side in a tank. Don't ever show your side to a tank. And then this T-69, I'm pretty sure he's fully loaded. And I don't want to get clipped by him. He shoots my track, I put one shot in his turret, and then he shoots me again, and then I repair. I don't want him to retrack me, because that would be bad. He bounces a shot off my upper plate, and I casually put a shot into his turret, finishing him off. So I want to try and jiggle myself past this T-54, and the ISU bounces a shot off my turret. Now, I'm a potential one-shot if he's using the BL-10, but at this point I am not sure. So I want to finish off this IS-3, get the threat on my flank dealt with, and I see he's aiming at me. I am currently in a Mexican standoff with an ISU-152. That's not something you want to be dealing with now, is it? And to be honest, this is very careful. I want, or I hope, for my archer to put a shot into him while I try not to get shot by him. I request fire on him. At this point, I see him move in. He cannot shoot me because the house is in the way. And I go around, and I've got him. And that is the end of this game. Why am I showing this game? It was not a good game, was it? Apparently it was, because this was my Ace Mastery badge. And I have no idea how I did it, but I got it. And here we are for the second game in the Stronk Soviet Steel video. I am in my other tier 9 Russian medium tank, the IS-8. Now some of you will complain that it is not a medium and it's technically a heavy in the tech tree. But it isn't. It has the speed of a medium, it has the gun of a medium, and technically it doesn't really have the armor for a heavy tank. It is just, it doesn't play like a heavy tank, and you shouldn't play it like a heavy. So that's why I decided to eat bacon instead of molten cheese for breakfast. But enough about food. Let's head back to the game we're playing, the IS-8 game on Lakeville. So yes, the IS-8. The IS-8 has got an amazing gun, and I hope the E-75 doesn't go into town or play aggressive, so I can do it instead, and hopefully win the game for my team. This was actually my very last game in the IS-8. It was played at something like 1 AM in the morning, and I just wanted to get the triple done before I would go to bed and play it again tomorrow to unlock the IS-7. And a small fun fact about my personal experience with the IS-8, it was, or actually still is, very difficult to get the Ace Mastery badge on this tank. I think everyone has a few tanks where they are just unable to get it, and for me that is the IS-8. It was the T-54, until last game, and it is the Comet. And I completely blame Quickie Baby for me not getting the Comet Ace, because he keeps upping the score. I mean, on Tuesday I think he got a 5k damage game and got the mastery on a loss. What am I supposed to do against that? And I want to know in the comment section what tanks you are having problems with getting the Ace Mastery badge. I expect somewhere between 2 and 5 comments, because maybe 17 people watch this video, but I like making videos now, so that's what I'm going with. Speaking of making videos, I don't want to say getting better at it, because my videos are still poop. Faster, I'm getting faster at making videos. My first video, which was I think 8 minutes long, took me about 9 hours to make. My second video, which is, 19 minutes, took me about 12 to 13 hours to make. And currently, I am working on this video for 2 hours, and I'm already more than halfway done. So that's quite good. And I give myself a deadline to make videos, and that deadline is every Thursday. So if you don't see a video from me on a Thursday, that means I am dead, kidnapped, or my computer exploded in my face and I'm in the hospital with a concussion and in a coma. But, you'll probably see that on my Twitter, if I'm not dead. Which is another thing. I used to absolutely hate Twitter, because people would put on it that they're having a poop. Why would anyone care you're having a poop? Like, why does anyone need to know I'm having a brand spankingly clean poop? Hashtag poop, hashtag blame John Harmon. I don't know. I'm not going to do that, but I do have a Twitter, and it's in the description. I think I've said the word poop far too often now. I've got a broken gun. Yeah, we're going back to the IS-8 game. I've got a broken gun, which was actually broken by the T-54 Mod 1 behind me when I was severely hugging that KV-5. So the fact that I have a broken gun only means one thing. I need Stalin to guide my shells, and there's still quite a lot of enemies on the enemy team, so I'm going to need a lot of shells guided by the hand of Stalin. And I had a great start by bouncing off that SU-152 just about 15 seconds ago. But I put a shot into this 110, which doesn't really need guiding because I was point blank, and I ignore him to go focus on the Tiger 1. And again, Stalin didn't guide my shell. I need to find more goats to sacrifice to Stalin. And maybe Serb. Yeah, Serb can get a goat too as well, if that may help my RNG.
Come here, goat. I need to sacrifice you for Serb.
There. That should help my RNG a bit, don't you think? And guess what? It did. The Tiger 1 misses me by shooting underneath me, and I hit him on the move. God, I need to sacrifice more goats. And for this shot, I needed Stalin, and he did guide my shell. Thank you. I'm not gonna thank Stalin, that would be bad, isn't it? I just want you to guide my shells, and I will give you maybe another goat or so. Yeah, that's it. And again, he guides my shell. I think Stalin likes me. Or at least the Russian tank line. He likes the Russian tank line. But I'm in a horrible position. I was very much in the open for artillery, and I'm really lucky they didn't shoot me. So I do what is best for my game. I close the distance, get below the gun line of, well, not the artillery per se, they can still hit me from here, but the Yak Panther. And I have to go back to base, because there's an AMX 3090 capping it. And I do not want to lose this game by a single tank capping our base. And, well, Stalin is there to have my back again. So, right now, it is a pretty close game. Not tank-wise, cap-wise. This T-29 will probably be back to the base earlier than me. And I have to rely on him to save our base. And in the long run, save the game. And as I said earlier, the IS-8 is fast. But it's not really fast. It goes maximum of 40 something kilometers an hour, which is Centurion speeds. But is it enough to get back into base? To decap that 3090? No, it probably isn't. So it all comes down to this T-29, and he spots the 3090. Come on, aim, do it. He does it. Yes! We can now easily win the game. There's 2 artillery left, and the 3090 is running straight into the path of that IS-3. And that is the end of this game. And it was my last game in the IS-8. And I did enjoy this tank. I thought it was a really good tank. Fully upgraded. That is important. Stock, this tank is poop. God, I've said the word poop again. I have to stop that. And I take the last kill, finishing this game off with basically 5.4k damage done. And it wasn't per se my best game to date, but I did enjoy it. And with that, I can unlock my next tank. What? I did say the IS-8 was a medium tank, didn't I?